What's up, world? How's everybody doing today, tonight, tomorrow? As I always say, whatever time, realm, dimension you're living in, I hope you're doing great, feeling blessed, no stress. In the middle of a work week, on with that race as usual. Been back in the gym, a little sore today. In there working it, getting that bob and weave, working the jab, bam, bam. Yeah, back in that race, trying to get in shape because I'm 36. I'm starting to get a little pudgy and getting the gray in the beard. So Conor McGregor got me a little hyped up. I'm a big MMA fan. I fought for years. I've been involved with martial arts for 26, 27 years now. Freaking love it, you know. So he gave me that motivation, and that's something everybody, you got to have that motivation in life. You got to get up and do something for yourself sometimes. There's a lot of chaos in the world. Let me suggest one great thing: get you a heavy bag. Man, you talk about, you know, some people drink, smoke cigarettes, do this, do that. You work a heavy bag for about an hour or so, and you'll just feel golden. But, you know, that's a whole nother race. And speaking of, let's get on topic here. You know, years ago, it was all about the space race. It was all about, you know, countries and governments fighting for that race to space, that conquering of space, which I still believe goes on today. I just believe it's a lot more hidden and you know, not talked about. But there's a different kind of race going on right now that's been in the news recently, and it seems to be amping up in coverage. And it's kind of strange because this topic I wouldn't expect to see in mainstream. And that's the race for AI. Now, we have countries and governments and private corporations right now just racing nonstop to be the first to have the true AI system uploaded. Now, I believe myself that there is currently a system somewhat uploaded right now that is AI, and I'll get on to that, but it's a whole nother ballgame. We see every day, you know, we hear about the progress in technology and things like AI and the progress they're making. You know, this technology race is on warp speed, and it's not slowing down at all. It's just speeding up. We're so much further along, I think, right now than what people expected. You know, we see everything from medical to military and just everyday lifestyle. Tech and AI is being pushed, and it's happening. That race is on. But we have to ask ourselves, at what cost? Governments and military are in such a race not to be left behind that you have to wonder, do they know what the possibilities are, what the consequences are? You know, they don't want to get left behind like the A-bomb. It's a totally different, you know, race here. That was one thing where you were ahead for a little bit until somebody else just kind of caught up with you. And we know now when it comes to something like AI, we've heard whoever the first to control this, whoever the first is to obtain and upload the true AI system, would probably more than likely be the last person to control it. Now the question is, you know, how long would they control it? How long will it allow them to control it? But that's the thing. If you have that AI system, you could just shut other countries down. You know, this is at least what's been told by very smart people in this field, that more likely other countries would go into a panic knowing that you could shut down all their technology. You could just basically turn the lights off to their country like that. And that fear of whoever owns that kind of power, the retaliation from other countries and governments, it would probably be unimaginable. You know, some have even made claims that more likely they would just start nuking whoever has it, trying to wipe them out before they realize what power they have in their hand. This is one of those, with great power comes great responsibility. Well, with AI, you know, you have that kind of power. But once again, there's that dilemma. There's that question of how long will you be able to control that power? What happens when it controls you? People like Elon Musk has recently come out into mainstream, and this is where I'm talking about, this kind of news into mainstream. I even saw it on Fox, CNN, but you can't count shit they say for truth. But he's made statements saying this is the greatest threat the world faces right now. More than anything. This is it. This is the greatest threat. That it must be watched and regulated. More than 1,000 people have come together. A lot of really smart-minded people in this field have come together and started a petition to make sure that this is regulated, that this does happen. Now, I gotta say, I agree with this somewhat. It wasn't that long ago that another smart-minded or considered great-minded person, I guess, was talking about AI and how far and how fast it will come. And he also said a lot of very strange things too. And I believe this person actually owns the key. He owns that piece of AI I was talking about in the beginning that I believe is already here. I believe has already been uploaded somehow and controlling things and making decisions. And that's why we have seen this just warp speed put on when it comes to this kind of technology. And now we're starting to see people come out and really talk about it. That person being Geordie Rose, one of the co-founders and co-creators of the D-WAVE. Now, if you aren't familiar with D-WAVE, you need to get familiar with D-WAVE. This thing, it's unexplainable. I mean, yeah, I could explain it, but I could go on and on and on. I've done other videos about it. I believe that the D-WAVE is somewhat of the key to everything going on right now. That the powers that be, this is their Oz. This is their thing behind the curtain, making all these advances in technology. This thing has the capability to figure out all the problems that they were stumped at. And if you know anything about D-WAVE and where it gets its information from, you know, that subject is just a whole nother can of worms that is hard to even fathom. You know, parallel universes, all that kind of stuff. But like I said, that's for another video. Now, one of the things I have to ask, you know, with people like Geordie and Elon and some of these other people that are involved in this petition and security. I don't think Mr. Rose is with the D-WAVE. I'm sure he's had conversations with them. But the people that are involved are some like Zuckerturd and Elon and all these guys. We have to ask, do these people, do they really have our best interest in mind? Are these really the people that are going to be looking out for us? Or do they have other motives? You know, you have to ask yourself this because of all the backstories with them. You know, we see advances in the medical field with AI already. We see it being used in hospitals for diagnosis. We see it being used in pharmacies for prescriptions. And now we see people like Elon pushing this Neuralink chip to be inserted right into the brain. Looks good on paper, right? If you look into this, it looks good on paper. You know, to help coma patients, to help people with epilepsy and other brain and spinal disorders or accidents. Sounds really good. We see other people like Mark Zuckerturd, one of my favorites, pushing a chip similar also, and another one to be inserted into your brain. Anytime something's going to be inserted in my brain, I really don't want to have anything to do with it, unless it's knowledge or something that I'm reading. He's pushing it as the next cool thing. You know, it's going to be this program that you'll have inside your head, this new social network basically inside your brain. They're pushing things like telepathy, being able to communicate with each other just by thought, being able to type out things just by thinking it. It's a world that I don't want to be involved with personally. A world I don't think I'm meant for. Now others will take and accept this because unfortunately most don't realize they're already being programmed. And I say this a lot. You know, it's that MKULTRA without the actual MKULTRA program. People are programmed without even knowing it. And now people are going to be willing to follow each other like mules chasing a carrot off a cliff just because the way they present it. Just because they're going to present it as this cool new technology. And nobody thinks anymore. along with the laziness of society, you know, nobody's going to care about the consequences that could possibly be here, because they're going to believe anything. And you got to look at Facebook. They've already done this in the past, where they've tried to program people's thoughts by just putting up certain comments and making people react a certain way. They're already trying to do these things. This is that programming that goes on all the time, the subliminal messages and things like that. But they throw it right in your face. But society's gotten so lazy, they just look right past it. People will not look at consequences just to be willing to plug themselves into some kind of matrix. Now, we've seen how the movie The Matrix went. Didn't go too good, right? But people aren't going to see that. They're going to see the cool part in it, right? They're going to hear all the good things. You look at the way society is today, and they will look past this. This is why I have to question people like Elon, people like Zuckerberg, these being some of the people that are trying to put together this regulation and security for AI. I mean, would you really want the people running this so-called security knowing all your thoughts, predicting your next thoughts? Because that kind of AI system is already out there. That kind of AI exists. Scientists at Carnegie Mellon University have created a system called deep learning. And basically what this thing is it creates an algorithm from scanning your brain and can read your mind and also predict what you're going to do next with an 87% accuracy. And this is just the beginning. So you got to think, you look at all these systems and all these AIs that are coming out in this technology. Look at the Go tournament that happened a year ago. That's a year ago. They're already beating humans. And if you listen to people like Elon, he says AI is better at everything than humans are, or technology. You know, these things, AI will, there's not a thing AI cannot do that humans could do better. That they're better at everything than us. And now with this system out there that can read minds, are you willing to put a chip in there? To have Big Brother out there, the thought police, being able to know everything you're thinking? Even if you go against this system, then they'll know exactly what your thoughts are to go against it. You won't have any choices anymore. How do you get that out of your head? You know, this article I read about this new AI, this deep learning, to make things even better at the end of it, a little backhanded joke, they said if you were worried about the, you know, AI taking over before, now they can read minds. You should be really worried. Just throwing it in our faces. And this leads me back, like I said, to Elon and Zuckerberg. And with all these things, with the chips and this system, you no longer need a CAT scan like before. Now, chip could probably do all the work for it. Not only that, I know this is some Dr. Evil kind of stuff, and I might be, you know, you're like, slow down, dude. But, you know, and Elon, he does kind of look like a Dr. Evil character. He could be an evil genius in a movie. Just need a little hairless cat or something. But just think of the other possibilities with a chip like this. If they really are the evil people that a lot of us believe they are, the capabilities they would have of manipulating your mind to do or think certain ways, or even worse, flipping that switch to turn your mind off. What happens when the public doesn't agree? How hard is it to wipe out that 90% with this kind of system? I know, sounds a little crazy, but truth, or, you know, reality is stranger than fiction. All I'm trying to say is, I guess, look at the people first of all. Look at the character they are. And they're supposedly out here fighting for all of mankind. You know, they've gotten on mainstream. Somehow they actually got on mainstream. And we all know the powers that be will not let anything get on mainstream or be covered, especially on the big boys, Fox and ABC and CNN, all these organizations. They will not allow these stories to get on there and be covered unless they want it to be. And that has me worried, because that usually means that there's something else going on. There's another agenda. The other thing that gets me is these guys, these gentlemen, they have awful lot invested in the future of AI. They have an awful lot invested in the future of technology. That's all they're about. Why would they do something that could possibly damage what they want for their future, or their agenda and their goals? Why would they try to make all this stuff look worse than what it is? Which leads me to believe there's some other kind of agenda here. You look at Elon and self-driving cars, and we already see that, you know, this technology that he's promoting and these things coming out, they're stealing our jobs already. AI is going to steal jobs left and right from the people. It's happening. Budweiser's already using self-driving trucks, delivering beer. Drivers are out of a job. Assembly lines already being all automated. People are losing jobs left and right already to these kinds of systems. And not only that, the jobs out there that we think that only a human could do, everything from photography to being an artist. There's a AI system that takes snapshots from Google Earth, turns it into photos. There's another AI system that makes these works of art. Hell, they can even make horror movies. Remember the Nightmare Machine? That freaky stuff? Scares the crap out of me. Without the Nightmare Machine. Like Elon said, there's not a job they can't do better. And they're proving it. We even look at our military and police today with autonomous drones, weaponized robotics, and God knows what else. This is the new weapons rate. These are the weapons of tomorrow. AI is being used in the military more now than ever before. It's constantly. We're seeing stories on it every day. You know, you're seeing all the big boys from China to the US, even Russia right now, who has developed this whole new line of autonomous drones. They even have claimed that they have a killer AI robot. This stuff is going on. I believe soon we'll start seeing more and more every day militaries going completely robotic. And you look at the way robotics is taking over, I couldn't believe. I went on the internet the other day and I could not get over all the stuff on robotics. It's insane. And we're going to start seeing now these AI systems and robotics coming together more and more to create these Terminators, whatever you want to call them. Skynet is being uploaded. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, look it up for yourselves. It's all over, everywhere. Hell, it's gotten to a point, like I said, people are so lazy and tech's taking over, people don't even vacuum anymore. They let some little robot vacuum their houses. How bad is this getting? And the way society is, the laziness, like I said, they will accept all this and take it right in. I mean, what's next? We can only hope by the time we find out that it's not too late. Like I said, take a couple hours if you can. Take a couple hours out of your day. Research for yourselves. This stuff is everywhere. And it is going crazy. I know some of you are like, dude, slow down. You know, you're going a little out here, but this stuff is happening. And if you think I'm crazy, then why is it all these other people that are supposedly respected and smart-minded people, they're out there kind of saying some of the things I'm saying? Maybe not with some of the twist that I put on it, but the technology, it's there. As far as they go, we can only hope that some of them do have our best interests when it comes to all this stuff. Now, when it comes to Elon and Zuckerberg, like I said, I've really never trusted them. They've given me too many reasons not to. And if you think for 1 minute that elites like them won't try to weaponize all this stuff, just look at what's going on. Start connecting the dots. It's not that hard to do. In this race for the first to complete true AI, we can only hope some involved. Like I said, don't let it go too far, too fast, because once it does, there might not be a way to turn back. I know this is doom and gloom, but these are things that we need to be aware of and we need to keep the spotlight on. We don't need to let all these wacko elites be out there running this whole show. We need to bring that awareness to it, and that's the only hope that we can get or have. And we can hope that maybe some of these people with this petition really do have our best interest in mind. Well, I'm sure I'll have more on this soon. I got to get back to work, and it's crazy stuff. Like I said, if you can look it up for yourselves, guys, do it. As always, thank you so much. More than anything, y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay incredible. See ya.